Hi, my name is Sharon, and I want to share my testimony with you. A lot of people say I should write a book about everything that's happened to me in my life, but I know that books don't really sell a lot anymore, and a lot of people would rather watch short videos. So what I thought I would do is share my testimony in parts, and I don't know how many parts there's going to be. I'm going to try to make 10-minute clips, and if you have questions, you can ask them, and then I can answer them in future videos. I find out that a lot of people have a lot of questions after I share my testimony. So, God sometimes gets a hold of somebody early in life, and then all the troubles that happen, you have God with you, and some people, it takes them a long time for God to get a hold of them, and they live a lot of years of trouble without God in their life. So mine's a story of God getting hold of me early in life. And I guess I'll start by saying that I was born in 1970, and I am a twin, and I have two older sisters, biological sisters. And my mom and dad were together when I was born. And at 8 months old, I was put into foster care. And the main reason I was put into foster care is because my mom had a mental illness, which in today's mental health terms, probably she had bipolar or manic depression or something like that. I don't know. But when I was 8 months old, I had a head injury, and I was placed into foster care. But I guess I should back up a little bit, because when I was born, I was small. We were twins, and so I was in the hospital a little bit longer than my twin sister. And so my mom took my sister home and possibly bonded with her, but then when I got home, I probably cried a lot more, and was a little noisier, and so maybe that's the reason I got the brunt of the abuse from her. And I get a lot of my information from my aunt, who's passed away. But when I was younger, I asked a lot of questions, and so she gave me all this background information, because obviously I don't remember what happened to me when I was 8 months old. So, so I was put into foster care with a head injury, and the events surrounding that head injury are still pretty, no one fully knows, but my aunt thinks that I was probably crying too much, had colic, and my mom couldn't handle it, and, hit my head on a wall. At least that's the story she got. And I have a tiny little scar just under my eyebrow over here, where the doctor had to drain some fluid off my brain. But, I feel pretty fortunate because I didn't have a learning disability. I didn't have any long-term effects of that. And so I was put in a foster home when I was 8 months old, and I was there for almost 2 years, and I guess that lady wanted to adopt me even though I was a twin, because my mom was maybe going to sign off rights to me. I met her later in life. Her name's Darlene, my first foster mom. And I don't know, I'm going to show you a picture of me when I was about, I don't know, maybe a little over 1 year old there. But Darlene had that picture taken, and as you could see, my hair kind of fell out because I was a little bit malnourished, and so there were things like that I don't have memory of. My subconscious probably does, because later in one of the videos I'll kind of tell you more about my insecurities that I've had growing up. But I also want to share with you how God sustained me through a lot of things. And I didn't write any of this down, so I'm kind of just going off, starting at the beginning and progressing. through early childhood. So by the time I was 5, had been in like 4 or 5 different foster homes already. And one of them I remember when I was 3, the lady was there was a lady, and can't picture her face, but she was mean to me. And I just remember waking up one time and she noticed that the bed was wet, and so she spanked me. And I feel like I probably told my case manager about that because I was moved soon after that. But if you know me, you know that I'm not one to just be quiet. I do voice my opinions about stuff at times. I mean, there's times I withdraw and don't say anything as well, but when I see an injustice, I usually say something about it. And I guess for the last few minutes of this first video, I should fast forward to what I do now, and then as I share my little videos, you'll see how God led me to where I am today. So I am now 55. And I'm a high school counselor and absolutely love my job. And so I'm married, and I have 2 daughters who are young adults, and they're just wonderful, beautiful girls. And I'll share more about, raising them later in another video. So, and if you haven't figured out by now, I have a strong faith in God, and He brought that to me, my faith, at a very young age. I was 5. So my foster mom, then I after this early years of child foster care, I was finally put in a home with one of my older sisters, Janet, into the Smith home, who I love very dearly, and now I consider them my parents today. But one time I was at church, and the Sunday school teacher was talking about receiving Jesus as your Savior and how sin keeps us from God. And if anybody wanted to pray with her afterwards, she would, talk to them. My heart was beating fast, like I was convicted, like, I want to be saved. But I didn't in Sunday school. But like when I got home, we were playing outside, and my sister Janet, we were kind of just playing. There was a little sandbox out in my foster parents' yard, and she was like, "Hey, do you want to ask Jesus in your heart today?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." And so that was just God's timing there. And after I asked Jesus in my heart, she goes, "Well, go tell Mom." And my mom was a Christian and saved at the time. So I told her. And then God kind of took me from there. And I can't wait to share with you a little bit more in the future about what happened after that. So I hope you have a good day, and I'll just be titling my videos, my testimony, part 1, part 2. We'll see how many parts I get in. And so, yeah, I hope you have a good day, and I'll post again soon. Bye.